I'm Jim Flick. Welcome to the Golf Channel Academy. Please join Mike Malaska and myself as we try to convince you you'll play your best golf using vision, feel, and rhythm. We're going to review why we're asking you to make that change, full well knowing that you need to work on your mechanics, but also to be able to play your best on the golf course, you must be able to turn off those mechanical thoughts. Then we're going to talk to you about some golf swing problems that people ask us for corrections in our golf schools. Then Mike's going to help us talk about how to fix your play problems and some things that may have bugged you on the golf course. And Michael, while there may be a lot of priorities in the golf swing based on different cause and effects, we know darn well to play your best, we need to get your conscious mind turned off so your subconscious can react to the target.
That's right. That's why your eyes and your vision become so critical, because that gives your brain the feedback it needs.
Michael, show us a shot playing into your target area and help people understand one of the things that we've learned from Mr. Jack Nicklaus and Bob Tosky is that literally it's the swinging and the use of the instrument that makes our body react from the correct alignment and setup. And we can't do that without our eyes observing and getting some evaluation of what's out there to play towards, and then to understand a picture that makes that happen. So show us how you go about creating better vision, better use of your eyes to give you a stronger subconscious commitment.
The first thing you need is you need to check the lie of the ball, obviously. So your eyes are telling you, based on the shot you want to hit, what is the lie, what will it allow you to do? Then once you do that, you get a picture for how you want the ball to fly. You get a feel for, and hopefully you've practiced enough to have that feel for the shot that you want. Then once you get that, you just let your eyes pick a spot, check the target, aim your club face, set your body up, check the target, and then let your body react to the target.
Boy, that's a great swing there, Michael. You see, that takes us into feel, and when I watched you swing the instrument, it's very apparent to me that your grip pressure allowed the weight of the club make your hands to react in the impact area. You weren't trying to square the club face up. It happened because of the correct feel of the club head. Michael, feel is the ability to give precise monitoring of what's going on, either to the club or to your body while it's happening. So many students come to us and they give themselves a verbal command and expect that to happen. No, there's a lot of time and trial and error that's required to feel what the club head is doing. And Michael, I've never seen a good player who couldn't feel what the shaft line feels like here, and the weight of the club head tells him where the club's laid off or in position or in balance. And if you're trying to turn your body and put your body in a higher priority, that tension destroys the feel for the golf club through your hands, tightens them up, and then really you can't get the release point where you want it to be in the golf swing.
Well, and the release point, Jim, comes from, if your grip pressure, again, is correct, then gravity and centrifugal force will let the club release for you if your grip's right and your pressure's right. You don't have to think about it.
Well, the truth is, a driver, the release is a little earlier. In other words, your hands start uncocking a little earlier due to the length of the shaft, and also nobody's clever enough to say, now go driver, now go 5-iron, now go wedge. The weight in the club head, which when I see you and so many good players go through your waggle and your sense of awareness for what the club's doing, feel becomes very critical. And through feel, you can develop a sense of rhythm. Davis Love's father used to say rhythm can be developed by hitting shots at different distances with the same length swing. So every part of your body has to monitor itself and be in harmony with the golf club. So Michael, give us a full swing with that 5-iron. Hit your ball 75 yards. Oh, there's that impressive. You see, rhythm is something happening over the same space of time consistently. In other words, all those movements have a certain pace to it. Tom Watson's pace is different than Ernie Els and Freddie Couples. You'll need to find your own based on your strength and your emotional characteristics. But one more time, Michael, give us a full swing, hit this ball 50 yards further, so every part of your body must pick up the rhythm of the club head. And if it can't feel the club head, it doesn't know at what speed it should be going. Now, full motion, full speed, which is probably about 175 with a 5-iron for you, Mike. That brings me to a point, Michael, that we hear the tour players talking about how far, or on television we hear how far they hit a 5-iron. They're working on a different set of priorities than we average folks. We're trying to learn how to use our hands, wrist, and club to find the golf ball first, then build speed. But the tour players are producing a different element there of club head speed that some of us can't do. But, Michael, give us your rhythm, full motion, full speed. And you see, it didn't look like he made a great deal more effort. He allowed his hands to feel and sense the club. His eyes gave him a picture and a commitment to the target, and then the feel allowed him to put those together. You can do the same thing if you'll work at it. But what Michael and I'd like to do is to help you understand some of the golf swing problems you may encounter that people require and suggest that we help them with at our golf schools. Please stay with us and we'll help you swing your club better. Thanks for joining Mike and I here at Superstition Mountain, Phoenix, Arizona. What a great backdrop, Michael, and you have such a nice office to work in. I envy you. Yeah. One of the things that we hear constantly at our schools is people are wanting to create more distance. Now, there's a huge difference between power and effort and club head speed and, if you will, freedom. So, Michael, show us how we might create more distance with club head speed, if you would, please.
First of all, folks, to be able to create speed, you have to have the club in the right relationship to you. So when we work on that, we work on getting this L on the backswing, impact with the ball, and getting this L to happen on the follow-through. And you have to be able to learn how to create speed first at slow speeds. You're not going to get a lot of distance by trying to create distance initially because you'll use your upper body too much, the club won't be in sync with you, and you won't create more distance, you'll create more inconsistency.
And effort.
And much more effort.
Michael, one of the things that I think hurts people is they try to make a one-piece takeaway. And when they do, what they tend to do, go ahead and get ready to make a swing, Coach. I see so many people start the club back by turning their shoulders. They have no wrist cock. They get to the top, then their wrist hinge, then they also work at the same space back here.
Right.
What we'd rather help you do is learn to cock and use your wrist right off the ball if you don't have enough distance until your hands learn how to work where the golf ball is. So one more time, Michael, give us a strike where you feel like your hands set and swing the golf club and get the club head releasing. Oh, yeah. So you need to do a lot of that to get club head speed. Distance comes from the speed the club is moving and solid ball club contact, not how fast your bodies are jumping and shifting weight. Also, consistency is a blend. People are always saying, I'm not consistent enough. Well, they don't have a blend of the movements. So what we'd like to help you understand is the golf swing is a complex movement of the hands and wrist cocking, the arms transporting the hands back further, and the body turning and supporting. So you need a blend of those. Now the problem is different bodies have different requirements and different measurements. Tall bodies like Michael's with long arms will have not quite as much wrist cock, but you want a good full motion and blend of, again, hands cocking and wrist, cocking, arms swinging and transporting the hands and wrist, and the body turning at a speed that supports it, not trying to outrace it. Yes, Mr. Nicholas helped us understand there is a turn in the golf swing, there is a weight shift, but it's the effect of swinging the club. Also, what we see is people struggling with slices. So Michael, show us how we can get rid of the slicing action.
Well, a lot of the slice comes from not allowing the club face to pass. They get out ahead of it. So by dropping your right foot back, leave your right heel on the ground, make a swing and hit the ball and leave that right heel down, and that'll force and let the club face pass and release on the follow-through side, so it gets the club head passing your hands rather than your body out racing the club head.
Michael, the reverse pivot. We see a lot of folks struggling with that. And I think it comes from a couple of bad concepts. Number one, they tend to get the ball too far forward in their stance. They get their right hip high where their spine angle is tilted with the top closer to the target than the bottom. And from that position, as they swing back, the right hip goes up high and the weight is locked over and trapped in front of the ball. Also, they're trying to start their swing by turning their body. And then when they do, the lead leg gets shorter and the weight comes to the lead side. A good player now will set up with his right hip under, then he'll leave his legs weight until the swing pulls him back over his right leg, and then he will support and get behind his golf ball. Go ahead and strike it from there for us if you would, Michael. You see, the reverse pivot happens because you've tried to turn from the wrong posture. Over the top is also a situation that we hear so many folks concerned about. Most of the time, the over the top is the correction for a bad backswing. what we'd like to do, now you're not so good at this, so let's start.
You can paint. You do all the painting you want.
Okay, this is our target line right here. Then you want to feel as though you start the club back along the target line, then inside slightly, reroute under, and down on the low road. Much like when we watch so many good players. The club swings up on the high road, down on the low road. That takes away the tendency to hit pulls, and their swings get much more consistent. You can see it very apparent in Nick Price, Tom Lehman. We see it in Tiger Woods, Nick Faldo. So many players, but that's something you've got to work at. So Michael is going to swing the club with his arms and hands, making the club travel along the arc on the outside, stay turned and let his arms drop under, and come at the ball from the inside. Nothing's much more critical than getting the club to come down shallow from the inside. Now, why most people can't do that is they have started their swing by turning their shoulders, which sucks the club inside. You see, Mr. Nicholas was right. You need a concept where the club is given more attention and more feel than is what your body's doing. Let your body take a secondary role and react to the club. Also, the short game. We'd ask you to spend a lot of time hitting shots to a target, choking down on your club and feeling a sense of rhythm. So, Michael, hit us a shot here where some folks can practice some of their short game concepts, the same good posture, but swing and feel the club head. See, you'll get a sense of what the game's about, which is making the ball react to the correct message from the club face. Please stay with us, and Michael's going to give us some of his secrets about how to fix your problems on the golf course. Michael, a person's grip is a never-ending adjustment that we're searching for. I don't know anyone who teaches a grip as well as you do, so let us have some of your secrets.
First of all, folks, I want to just touch on flexibility. Make sure you're working on things on your swing that you can do. Use the tips we've gone through to help you find out what your body can do. And grip is one of those issues. When you put your hands on the club, what you want is from your setup and posture, you want to check how your arm hangs natural. And you're going to put your left hand on the club the way your arm hangs natural, and the club is going to be in your fingers. Don't let it get up in the palm of your hand. So it's more in your fingers, and it's on the way your arm hangs natural, because this hand is going to control that club face alignment back through impact. So it's critical that your left hand is on the club properly. Your right comes on to support the club shaft. So your right palm is going to be facing the target. The club again is in your fingertips. We see many different left hand positions, but the right hand is very much the same. So be sure that your left hand's on there right. That's going to really help you to take the tension out and just make some nice smooth swings, and then you can let gravity work because the club face will square itself.
Michael, that helps you feel how to use the club face. So share with us how to hit some little draws and fades and things so we can develop the ability to control our ball flight.
Folks, it's very important that once you get your hands on the club properly, that then from the right posture and setup, you hit some shots where first you make a backswing, you come down into the ball and you hit it with the club face open.
So the grip in would be fractionally ahead at that point, wouldn't it, Michael?
That's right. And then you come back and then you let the club face square itself and catch up with your hand. So that's going to hit the ball straight. The next one, from the same setup, posture, same club face, you swing back and come into the ball. This time you're going to get the toe of the club to the ball ahead of the heel, so the ball's going to hook. It's very important in slow motion that you hit those shots so that you can sense the difference in the position of the club relative to you to create the shots you want.
Hit those three shots for us, Michael, please. First, a little fade, face open at impact. Done at the speed you can feel, the heel continue to lead. Now he's going to grip the club a fraction lighter, let the grip in and the head end arrive at a compatible time for the face to be square to the path it's moving down. Well, that's as straight as you can hit it. And now we're going to let the club head release a fraction sooner, and you may have to induce that for a while until you begin to have the sensitivity in your hands to relate to what the club face is doing. You see, it doesn't make any difference what the activity is. Sensitivity will ultimately determine the level of your performance. And that starts with your hands and arms. That's why it's so critical your priority be one which you can learn to control the club face. Michael, we see so many people who've tried to shift their weight and overwork their body. Help us see what you would do to fix the body lunge.
On the golf course especially, what I would have you do is just make some swings, either with your right foot drop back to just get a feel for letting the club catch up, or just be very aware of the balance in your feet and only swing as hard as you can maintain the balance in your feet. If you feel yourself all over the place, I guarantee you using this too much and the club is out of sync. A good indicator also is if you feel your grip pressure change, which we've talked about before.
Show us that good swing, Michael, how you feel as though you would keep from overworking your body in your golf swing. You're swinging the club with your arms and hands, and your body is learning to move at a supporting speed rather than a power speed.
That's right. And under pressure, the tendency for everyone, myself included, is to get too fast. So you always want to try to gear down a little bit on the golf course. Always maintain control of the club and feel for the club hit. If you lose that, you can guarantee you're going too fast.
Michael, tell us about the ratio of the length of the club head and the body turn.
When you swing the golf club, your sternum moves about 7 inches from the top back to impact. Your hands move about 7 feet. The club head, relative to what club you're using, can move up to as much as 16, 17 feet. So when you get to the top, if your first move is to get your chest going, now you're in a catch-up mode with the club. So you have to feel like that your chest stays there, that your arms swing down, and you let the club swing through. That's going to help you get more in sync than trying to shift your weight because it drops the club out of position.
Michael, one of the things we always encourage people to do is spend some time with their short game.
It's fairly important.
One of the things we'd ask you to do there is to understand that you'll change your body position fractionally to hit different types of shots. I would encourage you to put your weight a little more on your left leg. If you want to hit a knockdown shot, practice with your left arm alone and hit a low trajectory shot. For a high trajectory shot, you may want to sit back on your right side a little more, swing the club with your right arm, let it swing up, drop underneath the ball, and it'll help the club head release and go. Again, the feel of how you're using the club head is really critical, whether it's short game or full swing. And Michael, you never cease to amaze me with your rhythm. How do you generate good rhythm on the golf course?
Well, I'm always thinking about a timing. In my mind, I start with, in my pre-shot routine, when I'm swinging the club, I get a count, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And as I'm swinging, I can hear that in my mind. And when I'm playing, those kinds of thoughts, the rhythm, the balance, holding those things together, that makes me hit a lot better shots than trying to put the club in exact perfect positions.
Please stay with us and we'll come back with a summary.
Warning, folks, there's no question there's a weight shift in the golf swing, but let's make sure first that we're able to swing the club in harmony and being able to control the club face and get the club face on the ball to give us the desired ball flight that we want and the path that we want. Once you can do that and make the ball draw, then you can maybe start to use your body a little bit more to take some of the hook away. But it's very important that the club works in harmony with this, and many people are too quick to go to the body first. They lose control of the club, and it's a game of control where the ball goes. It's not how far you hit it. Enjoy the process. I think it's so important for you to understand that this game is fun and that you have to be excited about getting out and practicing. Jim, I want to thank you. I mean, you were Golf World nominated. You're one of the 10 best teachers this century. And I think, folks, that's very important that you understand commitment. And this man, if I've learned anything from him, is commitment to an effort and to an issue, and he has fun with the game every single day. So we want to thank you for that.
Michael, thank you for your contributions to the game and our series. You've been a great help to me, a lot of great ideas you brought forward, but we couldn't thank Superstition Mountain enough. And the number of teachers that have influenced us, Mike, and players. Joe Nichols influenced your career a great deal, and Bob Toski, and Ernest Jones, and John Jacobs, and a number of fellows influenced me so much with the game. But Mr. Pinnock, who I had a chance to do things with in PGA Workshop years ago, Michael, would always use something to keep the game simple and the mind simple and the swing simple. And the thing that I would like to leave with you all, and Michael agrees with me and feels as much, as your grip pressure is so critical. You see, it does more for you, feeling the weight in the club head, than any one thing I know. It helps you have the softness in your arms to feel the speed and the flexibility that you need. You can sense where the club head is as you're swinging it, and you can develop the feel for letting the weight of the club head make your hands react and square the club face. It'll help you learn when to feel, the club head release and make your hands react. You'll sense a rhythm by knowing where the club head is, and your body will get in harmony with that. You see, there's nothing that does more for you than feeling the weight in the club head. Tom Lehman said it better than anybody I know, Michael. He would say, don't work on one thing at the destruction of your whole golf swing. Please keep that in mind. But in the words of Bob Toski, my mentor, perhaps one of the great teachers the game's ever had, Bob said it so simply. And watch this swing, Michael, because you got to help me the rest of my life, and I'm planning on getting better. Bob would say, let your eyes conceive and see where the target is so your mind commits. Let your hands feel the club head. Your feet feel the ground, and let your body get in harmony.
Jim, with your commitment level and your ideas, I think we can fix that in about 20 years.
Thanks, Michael. But folks, thank you for being with us. We hope you enjoyed our series in playing your best golf using vision, feel, and rhythm.